The Galactic Council, an assembly of the most powerful and advanced species in the universe, had been convening for centuries. They had seen it all, the most incredible technologies, civilizations thriving on distant planets, and vast, invisible fleets of ships that moved through space without detection. But never in all their history had they encountered a species like humans. The council was seated in their grand chamber, floating above a shimmering nebula. It was a place where the most advanced beings came to discuss matters of galactic importance. The members of the council, composed of beings with varied forms, some with shimmering translucent bodies, others with vast mechanical exoskeletons, were about to hear a report that would forever change their understanding of the universe. We have gathered here to discuss the alarming development coming from Sector 55, a voice boomed from the center of the chamber. It was the voice of Kolar, a being from the ancient Zircon race, known for their wisdom and sharp intellect. A holographic display before them flickered to life, showing a map of Sector 55. The planet Earth was highlighted. As you all know, Kolar continued, the human race has long been considered primitive by our standards. Their technology is rudimentary at best. They possess no hyperdrive, no cloaking technology, and no means to manipulate energy fields. They are an insignificant species in the grand scheme of things. The council members nodded in agreement. Humans, after all, were still mastering space travel and had only recently discovered how to survive in the vacuum of space. But Kolar said, pausing for dramatic effect, recent reports indicate something that cannot be explained. Humans of all species, can detect our invisible ships. A murmur spread across the council chamber. The concept of invisible ships was well known to the council. Ships equipped with advanced cloaking technology could travel undetected through any part of space, slipping past enemy fleets and avoiding detection. It was one of the most prized technological achievements in the galaxy, and every species had perfected their own version. But the humans, they were not supposed to be capable of this. "How is this possible?" asked Valter, a being whose face was entirely mechanical, except for a single glowing eye. "Their technology is far too primitive to detect the ships. Our cloaking systems are foolproof." "Indeed," agreed Litha, a tall, ethereal being with the ability to manipulate light itself. "There is no known technology in their arsenal that should allow them to detect our ships. And yet, reports are flooding in from every corner of their planet." Kolar's voice was grim as he explained the situation. "It seems that the humans, using a combination of intuition and sheer willpower, have managed to perceive our cloaked ships. They have been able to see the invisible vessels with their eyes alone." The room fell silent. The idea that a species so young and technologically underdeveloped could accomplish what the greatest minds of the galaxy could not was unthinkable. The implications were far-reaching. "Could it be a fluke?" Valter asked. "Perhaps one or two humans have stumbled upon something, but it cannot be widespread." Kolar shook his head. "No, this is not a fluke. Multiple reports from across the planet confirm the same thing. Humans in small groups have begun to detect our ships. It's not just one or two isolated events. There is a pattern emerging." The council members exchanged uneasy glances. The idea that humans could disrupt their carefully orchestrated systems of invisibility was terrifying. If word of this got out, it could change the balance of power in the galaxy. "So, what should we do?" Litha asked, her voice calm but tense. "We must investigate," Kolar replied. "We must understand how they are doing this and determine if it is a threat to our future operations." On Earth, the news had spread like wildfire. Ordinary people, not even aware of the larger galactic forces at play, were talking about the strange phenomenon. Scientists, soldiers, and civilians alike had all reported seeing strange, shimmering objects in the sky, objects that appeared out of nowhere and vanished just as quickly. At first, most had assumed it was a government project, some top-secret technology being tested. But when more and more reports came in, all confirming the same strange sightings, the world began to take notice. A young scientist named Dr. Emily Carter was one of the first to publish a paper on the phenomenon. She had spent years studying optics and quantum mechanics, and she was the one who had started to piece together the truth. "Something is blocking the light," she said in her paper. But it's not just bending around the object as we thought. Instead, it's being disrupted in a way that we don't fully understand yet. She quickly became the center of attention, attracting the interest of the government, military, and even alien entities who had been monitoring human progress for centuries. But Emily had no idea that her research had caught the attention of the Galactic Council itself. Back in the council chamber, Kohler and his colleagues were deep in discussion. We have to consider the possibility that the humans are tapping into something beyond their understanding, Kohler said. If they can detect our ships, that they may have a greater ability to perceive the fabric of space itself. They could be tapping into an ancient form of perception that we lost long ago. You mean their minds? Asked Litha, her glowing eyes narrowing. Yes, Kohler replied. Their brains could be more powerful than we realized. Perhaps they have evolved a sense beyond our comprehension. A sixth sense that allows them to perceive things hidden from the rest of us. But how? Asked Velter. How can they possibly have this ability? It makes no sense. We do not know, Kohler said, but we must find out. If humans are able to see things that are hidden from the rest of us, they could be a dangerous force in the galaxy. We cannot afford to ignore them. The council members nodded in agreement. The humans were no longer just a primitive species. They were a wild card, a force that could potentially unravel the carefully crafted balance of power in the galaxy. As the session came to a close, the members of the Galactic Council made a decision. They would send an emissary to Earth to investigate the humans firsthand. But little did they know, they were about to face a truth that would shake them to their core. That humans weren't just seeing invisible ships. They were about to discover the full extent of their own hidden potential. And with it, the fate of the galaxy would change forever.